And Ian and Heather were some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me, and I'm so devastated.
Erin Patterson made out it was all a terrible accident and that she hadn't tried to murder her relatives with mushrooms served in a beef Wellington. The jury, though, didn't believe her.
We've just learned the jury has reached a verdict in the Mushroom Cook murder trial.
Finding her guilty of murdering 3 relatives and attempting to kill another at a family lunch in 2023 in Erin Patterson's house in rural Victoria, a 2-hour drive from Melbourne. She'd invited her in-laws, Don and Gail Patterson, along with Gail's sister, Heather Wilkinson, and her husband, Ian, who'd be the only guest to survive. The jury heard they'd gone for lunch under the false pretense Erin Patterson had cancer. Just one of the many lies the prosecution said it was hard to keep track of. On the menu for the guests, this beef Wellington, with an alternative ingredient, the deadly death cap mushroom. It looks similar to many edible mushrooms, yet contains dangerous toxins. Within hours of being eaten, they can cause nausea, seizures, delirium, kidney and liver failure, and death. The day after the meal, all 4 guests were rushed to hospital. Sole survivor Ian Wilkinson, a local pastor, gave evidence that would prove crucial in convicting Erin Patterson. He said he, his wife Heather, her sister Gail and husband Don were all served their beef Wellingtons on grey plates, while Erin Patterson's was on an orange plate. Something the court heard Heather was puzzled by, later questioning whether Erin was short of crockery. Absent from the meal, Erin Patterson's estranged husband Simon, who'd pulled out the day before. He also gave evidence, and text messages read out in court showed tension between the pair.
I feel too uncomfortable about coming to lunch.
That's really disappointing. I've spent many hours this week preparing lunch, which has been exhausting in light of the issues I'm facing, and spent a small fortune on B5 fillet. It's important to me that you're all there.
The trial heard Erin Patterson forage the deadly mushrooms locally. While her victims were in intensive care, the 50-year-old discharged herself from hospital against medical advice, then covered her tracks by discarding a dehydrator used to prepare the mushrooms. The case has attracted attention far beyond the small town of Leongatha.
Is there anything you'd like to say about the verdict? Are you surprised by the verdict?
It's gripped Australia
Will you be
and the
appealing?
world. Erin Patterson, now notorious as the killer cook who served up a deadly dish, and only she knows why. Well, I'm joined now by Australian journalist Rachel Brown, who's covered this trial throughout for her podcast Mushroom Case Daily. Rachel, thanks for joining us. If I can start by just asking you what your reaction was to the verdict today.
It's been quite sensational coverage here in Australia and also overseas, as I've gathered, to this story. And I guess it's because it started, it's such a mundane, shall we say, event. It was a family lunch that was supposed to be wholesome, and it ended in the 3 deaths of loved community members in Korumburra and the near death of another. And Ian Wilkinson was in hospital for a long time, a couple of months, and even in a coma for a lot of that time. So it's something as simple as a family lunch became a triple murder trial, and I think that's what's made it largely sensational news. I do want to remind people, though, that there are no winners in this. It's very sad for all involved. Korumburra lost 3 loved community members. Ian Wilkinson also suffered and is still, these families largely have imploded, friendships have broken. Erin Patterson's 2 children now face at least the next however many years potentially without their mum. The banal nature of what it should have been, as I said, and also the murder weapon now, the mushrooms, and the curiosity of that, the uniqueness of that, it's the Agatha Christie type element. And then I think with crime generally, when women are accused, that garners more attention. Women are supposed to be feeders and carers and nurturers. So when a woman is on trial, I notice that gets a lot more attention in the press.
And what was the reaction from Erin Patterson? Was there any reaction from her?
There wasn't. She was sitting right behind me, so I turned around each time. She was quite composed, stony faced, gave nothing away, lips pursed the whole time. And it was this same non reaction, shall we say, for each of those charges being read out. I was looking for any signs of, upset or pain or confusion, distress, surprise. She gave nothing away. She's been looked at for every day now for 10 weeks. So I think she's had some practice at not showing any emotion, but there was nothing on her face today.
Did you ever get any sense of why Erin Patterson did this?
No, we didn't. And we haven't heard, all we've heard from her defense is that it was not deliberate, that it was an accidental poisoning and that it was a tragedy. So we haven't heard anything in that vein. Erin now faces a pre-sentence hearing, which will be a date will probably be set for that in early August, and then she'll be sentenced. It's usually about 2 or 3 months after the verdict in Australia, so we might learn more at that pre-sentence hearing, but I'm not sure.
And we understand she can appeal. She has about a month to appeal. Do you know at all whether that's likely?
That has not been flagged yet to my knowledge, and you're right, it's a 28-day appeal window, but that's from sentencing. So that might not kick in for a couple more months yet.
I wonder as well, Rachel, whether you can tell us anything about, the area where this happened. Does that make it any more shocking that this was in quite a rural part of Victoria?
I think it does add to the curiosity around it and the mystique around it. Like I said, it was supposed to be a family lunch, and it's such a tight-knit community here. And Ian Wilkinson, the surviving lunch guest, was a pastor at the Baptist church, so that adds an extra element as well. But like I said, sad for everyone involved in this story.
Okay, Rachel, thanks very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.